Hello everyone. Thanks a lot for deciding to spend some time of yours on this particular demonstration, and I'll try my best to make sure that it's worth your time. So my name is Ravi and I'm your instructor for this particular course. This course is Hadoop Development, Administration and BI 0 to 100. We typically call this course as Hadoop 0 to 100, and this is one of our most popular course. We've taught around 400 odd students on this particular course, and gives me a great pleasure to introduce this course to you. So let's get going. Now that we've got introduced to each other, let's start with what exactly does this course contain. So this basically is a 60-hour course where 40 hours is a classroom training and 20 hours is basically for hands-on exercises that you will be doing during weekends at your home. There are no prerequisites for this course. The only prerequisite for this course is you should have around 2 years of IT experience to understand how things work in IT, but otherwise everything will be taught in this course. You get into this course with zero experience in anything, and by the time you end this course you will have a complete perspective of how Hadoop is used from development, administration and BI perspective. So let's get going. The phase 1 of this particular course is for 20 hours, where we start with what exactly is big data. Then we get into what is Hadoop ecosystem. We'll then get into Hadoop hands-on. So in hands-on, we'll be providing you a CentOS based virtual machine, and you'll be performing all those hands-on exercises. The CentOS virtual machine is going to be will stay on your laptop, so basically you have lifetime access to that. And after all the hands-on are done, we get into multi-node setup. So we go to Amazon, purchase 5 machines, and we do a multi-node setup. Now that we've done everything in a manual way, we'll use a tool called Cloudera Manager after everything is done to see how a multi-node setup can be done in an automatic way by click of few buttons. So that would basically bring us to end of phase 1, which is going to be for 20 hours. At the end of phase 1, we would have a 50-mark evaluation test to see how much you've kind of picked up from this course. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 of this course is Hadoop development, where we get into what is MapReduce. We get into advanced MapReduce, and in advanced MapReduce we would discuss topics like combiner, partitioner, distributed cache, joins and all that stuff. And we will have 8 hands-on exercises on MapReduce. So end of phase 2, you would understand what is Hadoop and how development is done on Hadoop. End of that particular phase, you have a 50-mark evaluation test. Then we have phase 3, where we get into how Hadoop is used from the BI perspective. So we discuss what is Pig, then we'll discuss what is Hive, and then we'll see how Hadoop can be used with an ETL tool like Pentaho. So at the end of this phase, you would really know what is Hadoop, how development is done, and how business intelligence folks use Hadoop. And the last phase of this course is where you understand the internals of Hadoop administration. So you would understand how scheduling, monitoring, cluster maintenance works on Hadoop. And end of this course, you have a 60-mark evaluation test. So that's kind of overall as to what exactly this course contains. A bit about myself. My name is Ravi. I'm certified on Cloudera. I'm Cloudera certified Hadoop administrator, Cloudera certified Hadoop developer, Cloudera certified Hadoop HBase specialist, MapR certified M5 administrator, and early in my career I was certified on PHP and Java. So that is what we typically cover in this course. Let's get into a small sneak peek of what we really do in this particular course. So this is phase 1 of our course, the theory part of phase 1 of our course. So we'll start with an introduction. We'll get into what exactly is big data. We'll talk about what is Hadoop. We'll talk about the Hadoop ecosystem. We'll have a deeper dive on HDFS and MapReduce. And your questions are welcome anytime. So the goal of this particular presentation is to introduce you to what is big data, introduce you to what is Hadoop, explain how Hadoop works, get friendly with HDFS and MapReduce, get aware of the Hadoop ecosystem, and understand how Hadoop is used in real world. Small introduction of myself. Ravi is my name, and around 8 years of IT experience. 2 years I've been into corporate trainings. I'm Cloudera certified Hadoop developer, administrator, HBase specialist, and MapR certified M5 administrator. And I serve major corporations in India for their corporate trainings. Now let's talk about what exactly is big data. But before we get into what is big data, let's talk about why does it deserve your attention? Why is it that whole technology world has gone crazy about it? Well, why does it really deserve your attention? Because as per IDC, big data market would be $24 billion by 2016. So in 3 years from now, we are looking at a $24 billion market. Big data would create 4.4 million new jobs by 2015. 2 years from now, we are looking at 4.4 million new jobs. Now let's not talk of 2 years from now, 3 years from now. As of this very moment, big data alone has a shortage of, or United States alone has a shortage of 200,000 big data professionals. So whether you are a startup looking for next big opportunity, whether you are somebody who's just looking for a career change, or you're a project manager who's looking for next revenue stream for your company, big data has something for everyone. So what exactly is big data? Well, in the most simplistic terms, big data is the amount of data that is beyond the storage and processing capabilities of a single physical machine. Okay. So data that has extra large volume, comes from variety of sources, variety of formats, and comes with a great velocity. So in the most simplistic terms, big data is amazing amount of data that one machine cannot handle. Along with that, there are two more dimensions to big data, one being volume, of course. There are two more dimensions. One is variety. So far we've always seen data in terms of rows and columns, but what big data talks about is data can just be in any form. It can be log files, XMLs, PDFs, videos. It can be structured, can be unstructured. And third is velocity. So data comes into your system with really great speed. So let's kind of reiterate the whole thing. So these are three characteristics of big data. First is volume. For data to be referred as big data, generally the volume of the data has to be massive. That's first. Second is variety. For data to be referred as big data, generally the data would be semi-structured and may originate from variety of sources. And third is velocity. For data to be referred as big data, the rate at which data comes into your system is really fast. Let's visualize big data. So first, you have a fantastic server, but the amount of data it has to process is much above its capacity. That's volume. Second is velocity. For data to be kind of referred as big data, the data should come in your system with really great speed. That's velocity. And third is variety. For data to be referred as big data, typically data would come from multiple sources in multiple sizes and shapes. So that is big data. Now, over the period of time, a few of my bright students have come up with few questions, and I've basically used those questions to paint the complete picture of what exactly is big data. So let's look at those particular questions. First, well, it looks like, well, big data is clear, but how does this data look like? Can I see something and say, hey, this is big data? Well, the point is there is no defined set as to how big data looks like. Big data can just look like anything. It can be an RFID system generated file, can be a web log, user interaction log, user transaction history, user tweets, climate sensor data. It can be just about anything and everything. Okay, so what do I do with this data? Analyze it. Well, the tough part is, why should I analyze it? You're asking me to basically invest in new infrastructure. You're asking me to invest in new people. You are introducing another new technology in my stack. And for what? Just to analyze data that is basically in log files, that is not really structured. All my financial data that makes direct money for me is there in my Oracle DB, which is good. So why should I invest in analyzing this data? Well, it's in this huge heap of data, there are some golden nuggets that can really give you an advantage at the marketplace. Let's look at it this way. Amazon is an e-commerce site, but they do something really well, that is analyzing your browsing history. They analyze your browsing history to near perfection, and they give you recommendations that are really close to you. search for an Xbox game on Amazon, and Amazon then figures out that okay, this guy appears to be interested in gaming, and you suddenly see all the recommendations are around that. You have a 1-year-old baby boy and purchase diapers for him. Amazon figures out okay, you are a parent and potentially you would love to buy more baby products, and the whole site improvises itself around those products, and most often you end up purchasing stuff that you never thought existed at first place. And that's how Amazon makes money. That's how a lot of other companies make money. So there are amazing amount of use cases where you see that analyzing this data can give you amazing advantage at the marketplace. Can we have some use cases of analyzing big data? We've already had one. Few more. Identifying the customers who are most important on variety of parameters. Identifying the best time to perform maintenance based on usage pattern. You have a system and you want to figure out what is the best time to bring it down for maintenance. People do use it. Analyzing your brand's reputation by analyzing social media posts. That is another use case that's becoming fairly popular now, where companies want to know what people are talking about them on social media. Well, all that is fine, but now that you say that big data is massive amount of data and one machine will not be able to cater to it, how can such huge data be analyzed? Well, as the volume is beyond the processing and storage abilities of a single physical machine, some distributed way has to be used. Now that we understand one machine is not going to be enough, we need to use some distributed way. Wait. So you're talking about distributed systems? That's a matured concept. It's been around for like a couple of decades now. Why are you talking about something that's really old? And it's been around for decades, and do we even need to see this presentation further? And forget all that. Does the world really need another distributed system? Do we really need another distributed system? Well, the answer is yes. We all do need a better distributed system. Let's see why. So distributed systems have been around for more than a decade, and typically this is how they look. So you have a storage area network, you have app servers running on top of it. So let's say you have 50 terabytes of data, you store that in a storage area network. Then you have your app servers, and each app server would, let's say, read 1 terabyte of data, process it and write it back. So you have 50 terabytes of data and 50 servers, each server reading 1 terabyte and processing it. So that's how it looks like. So basically you would have programs running on each app server. All data is on SAN. Before execution, each server gets data from SAN, and after execution, each server writes the output to the SAN. Now, while this was good, this had some problems. Problem number one, there was amazing amount of dependency on network. Reading 50 terabytes of data on network, very bad idea. Scaling up and scaling down was not a smooth process. If you are my best programmer, I give you an assignment to write something on a typical distributed system. If you write it for 5 machines, can I scale it and put it on 500 machines? Not necessarily. So that would require some adjustments. Partial failures are difficult to handle. Well, 50 machines working together, that's fine. What if machine number 43 goes down? You have a bad day, because you will have to handle how failures are to be dealt with. Most of your muscle power is being spent on transporting data. So well, part of it you're processing, but most of your energy is going in transporting data. And the last one is data synchronization is required during exchange. So all the machines need to have an idea of what other machine is doing, and it was kind of a lot of communication among all the slaves. Now, these were 5 major problems with typical distributed system, and world, that is why needed another distributed system. And that is where Hadoop comes into picture. Hadoop is nothing but just a distributed system that solves these 5 problems for you. It is nothing else, nothing more than a distributed system. So far what we've discussed is what is a typical distributed system. We've discussed what is big data. We've discussed why big data deserves our attention, and this brings us to the end of topic, what exactly is big data. So we get into what is Hadoop, and we kind of stop here and would love to basically hear from you as to how you like this video and what do you feel about this course. Thanks a lot.